What's up, guys? It is Justin Roby, co-host of Power Builds, and to say that I am just a little bit excited would be an understatement, because for the first time here at E3 in the West Hall, I get to talk about PCs, and I get to talk about PC parts. And I know I'm sad Brenadactyl's not here, but you know what I do have? I got my man Chris over here at the COUGAR booth, and we are gonna look at some super sick cases and talk about a really exciting company that's got some really cool stuff for us to take a look at. And we are gonna start with this bad boy right here. Guys, you're looking at what is essentially a dual PC build case. That's right, we're talking about two ATX motherboards in a single PC. If you want to do streaming, gaming, streaming, workstation streaming, you name it, you can do it. But my man Chris is here to tell us a little bit about this build. Chris, what is this case?
Sure, so this is our Gemini X. We just debuted this last weekend at Computex, and we're really excited to talk about it because this is our 2-in-1 case. You can put anything in here, you can build anything you want. This is for the couples out there. This is for, the home entertainment system. This is for the server, PC, streaming, working. We want to make sure that anything you want to see happen can happen with this case.
So guys, we've talked a lot about the Corsair 1000D case, which Corsair announced, which actually does like a full ATX motherboard, and then you've got a micro ATX. This one will actually do two ATXs, which means like you can throw a Threadripper on one side, you can throw an i9 on another. You're not limited in terms of your cooling potential. In fact, actually water cooling, that's something else that's really unique here. Tell me a little bit about that.
Right, so with this case, we make no compromises. You can have it both ways, on both sides. You don't have to compromise on having a large system on one and a small on another. You can have them both.
So guys, we're talking about dual 240mm rads. You can do dual loops, so you got a CPU loop and a GPU loop on both sides. Throw in a reservoir, you are good to go. But that is not the only thing we have to talk about here. I'm also very excited. We've got the large. Let's talk about the small. So we're gonna move over here. I'm gonna do my transition. Oh yeah, we're gonna do my transition. Oh yeah, and we're gonna go right over to this little bad boy right here. You guys have heard me talk a lot about the Loke cases, which is something we're trying to build, but you know what, we might skip that now because it sounds like I got another option with my man, with our team here at COUGAR. Let's talk a little bit about this case.
Sure, so this is our MX330 case. This is our tiny build. And the wonderful thing about this case is that it is designed for maximum air intake, and it can also support a full 1080 Ti graphics card, which we are incredibly excited to be able to say.
Okay, so I want to make that really clear, guys. We're talking about GTX 1080. That means that this little small form factor PC can be sitting under your 4K TV in your living room playing Fortnite at like a bajillion frames per second, all air cooled, looking super fly. Yes. I'm excited. We are going to definitely be doing something like this on Power Builds. But guess what? There's a third option that we're going to cover, and we're going to keep moving down the line here. So let's do that transition again. Transition. Okay, now, we've been on Power Builds before, guys, and we have never shown an in-person custom water-cooled loop. Well, I can say here in the West Hall at E3, we are going to show a custom water-cooled loop in this amazing Conquer case from 2017, but I'm not going to talk about it. We're going to let Chris talk about it. Chris, tell us about this case.
Sure, so what we're looking at is the Conquer case. This is a full tower build, and the wonderful thing about it is that it is an open case. We've got 8.5 inches of horizontal legroom here to work with. This case is entirely anodized aluminum, stainless steel, and polished edges tempered glass.
You heard it right, guys. And the other thing too is when you look at this case, you're probably thinking, oh wow, look, they've got a CPU, which, I mean, right now we're rocking an 8700K, yeah?
That is correct.
Yeah, and maybe even an 8086K in the future someday. But anyway, guys, what we have here is you can see that they've got a nice CPU loop into a reservoir, and they've got a nice 240mm rad up here at the top. They've got it with their super sick RGB LED going on. And the other thing too is they did not even skimp. I'm looking at the back here. They've got cable management up the wazoo. This is a sick looking case. Now you guys don't just do cases, you also do other things, right? You're like a one-stop shop kind of thing.
That's correct. We offer a whole bunch of different options for gaming chairs, keyboards, mice, headsets, mouse pads, even LED strips and radiator systems for your cases.
And the cool thing is Chris said that I could give him my address and he would send me all of this stuff. No, actually he didn't say that. Maybe I was dreaming while I was looking at all this really awesome hardware. Chris, thank you so very much for showing this stuff. I am Justin Roby, co-host of Power Builds. We are here in the West Hall of E3 looking at the Cougar booth, but right now we're going to throw it back to you guys there on the stage.